Is y'all Lake Cumberland. It's taken me quite a bit of time to figure out a really good spot. So according to you start right there. What I'm gonna have y'all do is go over to this marina, past this marina right here that I thought you all were going to. You go around this bend. This marina right here is the marina I thought y'all were going into, but you're gonna go in this creek right here. As soon as I get this to go, thank you. Go in this creek right here. I don't know the name of this creek, but I do know that there's a lot back there. So what we're gonna do, the creek or the marina you're gonna go past is Jamestown Marina, and this is the state park dock. Obviously, you're gonna go past that and go into this major creek right here. It's in the upper part of the upper creek. The reason I want to go to the upper part is because we're going to go after largemouth. We're not going to mess with smallmouth because they have to be 18 inches. And I just don't feel like I'm not saying it's not worth it, but largemouth are 15 inches. So we're going to go with that. What I want you to do is go down this left side first. Once you get into this major creek. And we're going to hit these areas like this rounded point right here. You're just going to start right here and go all the way down around this point. And this little shallow area is where I want y'all to target first of all. Because we're after staging fish that are going into these creeks and trying to find a place to spawn. Just staging areas. We're going to go all along this bank. And this flooded timber is going to be key because depending on the water clarity, these fish are going to get in this flooded timber and hold fairly tight to it. I don't know what the water clarity is right now, but definitely want to hit flooded timber for 100% fact. And anything that you see on the bank, you definitely want to hit. And we're going to get to a part up here in a second that I think looks really good. And there's a dock right here too. If that dock is fishable, which I'm sure it is, you definitely want to mess around in that dock. I don't know. It only shows one dock, but there might be a few. Yeah, you definitely want to mess around in this area right here. And this whole area right here. And definitely that dock. So basically you're just going to go around this whole creek. Fishing these docks right here. And then we're going to go up here where I think the little juicy part is, if I can find it. Yeah, right there. This little stretch right here. This has got a lot to offer. This right here is some rocks in the middle of the lake. I don't know how deep it is right there because it won't show me. But I'm hoping that's a big hump is what that is. It's a rock hump. So if y'all have drop shots or jigs or whatever it is y'all like to throw, definitely hit that up for sure. And then there's a row of docks too, definitely want to hit those. And this little flat right here, this little flat right there, you definitely want to hit that too. I don't know how deep that is, but we're going to find out. So, well, it's 40 something feet. I didn't realize that, but anyway, that's deep water access next to a shallow area, which is this right here in this whole dock. That's good. You want that because those fish can go over there if they need to. Big fish do like deep water access, so that's a good sign. And there's another area over here. Yep, that flat right there. But you're not going to just go over to that flat. You're going to go all along this whole thing. And I want you to spend a little extra time in this flat because there's a lot to be desired. Especially this time of year, fish will get on flats and they will stage around flats. And that looks really good. In comparison to the rest of the lake being really super deep, having it, 15, 12, 3, right around this area having it that deep is considered shallow for these fish because everything else is just super, super deep. And I like this little thing too. I don't know if y'all seen this or not, but if that would stop showing up, that'd be great. This little area right here, it's kind of like a ditch almost. It goes shallower and shallower and shallower, but it's real narrow this way. So that's something definitely to look at and go cast around. And I like this little thing right here too because it's basically a hold on. It's kind of a channel swing, sort of, where the channel comes up pretty close to the bank right here. And then there's like a flatter area on the edge of this point. So they could be there. I really like this whole area right here. This part right here, and this part right here. There's no telling what could be in there. I mean, you could run into a pile of them. And then don't forget the back of these cuts too. Like right there where that deep part meets the shallow, like that part right there in the middle, where that 12 or whatever, however deep this is, this little area right there. Sometimes they'll sit right there on the edge, and they'll be watching this way, this way, this way, and then it's a really good ambush point. Be fishing all along here. I mean, I'm not saying to skip anything, but if you wanted to skip something, you could, I guess. And there's a big old hump right here. I would hit that with some drop shots or jigs or something, depending on what you got tied on, or rattle traps even, because I know y'all throw a lot of rattle traps because they're really effective, and you can cover a lot of water, which is what you're doing. Is the name of the game right here. You're covering a lot of water. You're just trying to locate them. It's a small hump there. In that flooded timber, definitely hit up that flooded timber. Do not pass that up. And then what you're going to do is you're definitely going to hit this right here. That cut right there. Definitely going to go down in there. See what's popping off in there. Let's see. Yep, and here's another little, I think that's a hump too, with flooded timber on it. So that's a really good spot too. Make sure you, these spots I'm talking about, make sure you dissect this little area before you move on. Though those previous two, you definitely want to dissect those and dissect this one. I don't know what this timber looks like back here, so it may be kind of nasty. Like I said, I don't know. And once y'all get to here, if you're not seeing any bait fish back in here, you don't even need to go back in there, but turn around and we're going to hit this side of the bank on the way out. I don't know how long it's going to take you, but there's some good looking stuff on this side too. And it's fairly shallow all up and through here. You definitely want to hit all these little inlets, those little cuts like that. And if you're not getting bit, you can totally just skip over it. You definitely want to hit this point because it's got a little flatter spot right there, which I think is going to be a nice staging area for some largemouth. And that timber, these flats in that timber, I think are going to be pretty good. Now this is exactly what I would do if I was going over there. I wouldn't do anything different. But it's the creek right past. See these flatter areas? Yeah, you definitely want to get up in them flatter areas right there for sure. Those bass will not be very far from flatter areas this time of year, or actually any time, to be honest with you. The fish that live in this creek will definitely be using those, because the fish that are in this creek probably live here all year round. And I'm really hoping that y'all don't have a whole lot of company, because you may and hit all these points on this side. You can't ever go wrong with a point or a cut, because you never know what's hiding in there until you throw a bait in there. And this little area right here looks pretty good. It's got some deep water access and some shallow. This is on the southern facing banks. Is the reason why I want y'all to do this last is because it's going to get warmer during the day, and these are going to heat up the fastest. So if there's going to be any fish over here, I'm just willing to bet that they will be there during the later part of the day versus the beginning of the day. Definitely want to hit that cut in these little flats right here. I'm really, really digging these flats in this thing. Yeah, those flats points and all that stuff. I like that a lot. I do like that a lot. This is the but looking at all, because there's a lot of creeks in here, and trying to keep you all as close as possible without making a really, really super long run, this would have been the one that I would have chosen. I don't know how wide this stuff is, but definitely want to fish around in there for sure. These pockets, these southern face pockets. And then that'll be you'll come back out. And really, if you wanted to just keep on going, if you got time, and hit this cove right here, because there's a dock right there, and there's all kinds of little things in here. There's a deep hole right there. I don't know if they'll use that or not, but there's some flats back here. It's like 9 foot, so it's got some depth to it, but it's still flat. That's really all that matters. And there's all kinds of docks and stuff. And there's some flatter areas again that are actually in fairly deep water. I wouldn't venture to go over 20 foot if you can help it. Like, you probably wouldn't need to go over 20 foot. So keep everything, all your casts up in the 20 foot area. But I don't know how long it's going to take you, but if you got time, definitely go back up in there. And if you wanted to do reverse and go back the way you came, just hitting these banks under, this might be a bluff wall, I don't know. That channel is pretty tight. But when you're casting onto these bluff walls, you don't want to throw your bait like this. You don't want to do that. You want to throw it long ways right next to the bluff. That way your bait's in the strike zone for a long, long time. For almost the entire cast. And then considering that bluff wall is right here, which I think it is, this point is going to be really, really good. This little section right here before you get to the point is going to be really good. Because it pushes, the channel pushes really, really close to that bank right here. And you definitely want to hit that on your way out for sure. Like I said, you want to parallel cast to them, not that way. And I don't know how long it's going to take you, like I said, but I would just work your way back and just keep hitting all these little points and stuff. That one looks really good too. That one's a nice long tapering one because it comes way, way out here and it's still a point. So, that's what I would do is go to the major creek arm past Greasy Creek. Go up in here, work the left side of it first, and then when you come back, work the right side of it. And then if you have time, go up in this area right here, work this pretty good, hit those docks, come back around, and go down this bluff wall bank. I'm assuming it's what that is. Hit that point right there. And then I would just keep on going and then just, if you all got time, and just keep hitting all this stuff right here all the way back to the boat ramp. That's what I would do. Well, boys, I wish y'all good luck, and I really hope y'all catch them. Keep those baits in your hand, cover some water, and you'll catch some fish. And by the way, I looked up some numbers. Average high school tournaments are around 13 pounds to win. So just keep that in mind. Like MLF and stuff like that, it's like 17, 18 pounds. And local stuff is like 15. So if you're in a 10, 13 pound range, you're doing pretty good. But if you follow what I'm telling you here and keep those baits in your hand that nobody else is throwing, You can even go behind folks, even if you all have traffic. That's the good thing about throwing something different is you can go behind somebody and catch fish that they passed over because they're throwing the same shit that everybody else is throwing. And the reason why I didn't want you to use pink is because I didn't want somebody else to see it, because you can see it a mile away and think, oh yeah, I got some pink baits, and then start throwing pink baits regardless of what the bait is, and then they catch a few more fish that could potentially beat you all. I would rather you keep it like color wise very natural, but you're still throwing something different, so nobody can actually see what you're throwing color wise. If that would make a difference, I don't know, but I'd rather just keep that variable out of the situation and just throw the different style bait, because it'll still work regardless of the color. But anyway, boys, y'all be safe, be careful. I know it's big water. May wear your life jackets, obviously. And good luck. I'll be rooting for you. Later.